Stop trying to figure out how you can make everything work. Stop trying to figure out how every single thing is supposed to be stuffed in the same area. Just let some things drop out, and it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you're really good at editing your day. You're listening to the I Have Dreams, Dammit podcast, a podcast about the realities of pursuing dreams. I'm your host, Lisa Murray, and let's go.
Live from Los Angeles, California, this is the Lisa Murray Show, and with your host, Lisa Murray.
The day I felt like I really started living.
I don't have enough money to start this business.
I'm so tired. I hate it. I'm working all the time.
I'm not inspired when I'm worried about money.
Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all.
I'm so sick of all these positive people talking about dreams. What about money? Like, how am I supposed to get the money?
What it's really about, it's about you pursuing what makes you come alive. It's about continually connecting with that energy and just keep doing that. Keep going towards that. That's what it's about. You need to give up. There's too many obstacles. I can't take this shit anymore. Ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
It feels really good to be my own boss.
I have dreams, damn it! Hi guys, how you doing? How's 2020 treating you already so far? I can't believe we're in the second month already. That's insane to me. So today I'm recording this on Groundhog Day, which is February 2nd, 2020. And Groundhog Day, the movie, is one of my favorite movies. And I also talk about Groundhog Day in an earlier episode. What is it? Episode 4, Groundhog Day Redemption. And the reason why I smash all that together is because Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies, and so is Shawshank Redemption. And so I smashed it all together, and the gist of the point, which I do recommend you go and listen to that episode, but basically that no matter how much things look the same, they're not the same because time has moved on. And even if you've seen the same exact thing every time, the thing that makes it different is you. Because now you have that information from all the other times in you and your opinions that change about that in you. So at any time you can change your situation or just recognize that it is changed, even if it's just subtly. So last week I didn't upload a podcast episode, and what had happened was I had recorded an episode, and then when I'm talking, I'll usually start with a topic, and then when I was talking and I was listening back when I was editing, I'm like, this is actually 2 topics merged together. So I'm thinking, okay, I either need to cut this out or, trying to figure out, should I make 2 shows out of that, but then I still need to record more to make the other part fuller, or do I just scrap the whole thing? Like, I never know for sure what to do with that. So I kept kind of going back to it and toying with it. But then also another thing that was happening was that, as I told you guys, I'm starting a second podcast, the Death Talk podcast, where I talk about death and near-death experiences and all kinds of things about death. And I had 2 amazing interviews last week I did it over Zoom, and I'm not familiar with doing that. And so I was trying to learn something new. Plus, I'm just learning about the whole community of the death-positive community of people trying to break the culture of silence surrounding death and dying. Did that sound like a commercial? Good. So, I had a big week. I had a lot of stuff happening, and especially after having, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. After having had, how do you even say this word? Bottom line is, so at the end of the year last year, as you know, I started posting more episodes, which felt really good. And I was like, I want to keep with that. And I want to post this episode this week, no matter what. So I had this whole list of things that I needed to do. And the list never goes all the way down, by the way. But I had this whole list of things that I wanted to do. And I was thinking, I've got to figure out how to do all of this. How am I going to do this? And I wasn't really sleeping very well. And I was doing everything. I was doing my social commitments and friend commitments and there for my dogs and, every kind of thing. And I just kept thinking, I've got to make all of this work somehow. How do I do it like it's a puzzle? And I made this realization. I had this realization. It's not about making it all work. It's about knowing what to cut out. And I think that life is actually more like editing. When I'm editing video, I never go into it thinking, how do I make every single clip work in this video? I go into it saying, what needs to get out of here so that we can see the message? What needs to get out of the way so that the real thing, the good thing, will come across? So there's not so much extraneous footage in this end product of the video or film or whatever. And that's the same with writing. When you first write, you just do a brain dump. You might just write a whole bunch of stuff. And the art is coming back later and editing out the parts that aren't really serving the whole thing, but needed to be there initially. And so believing that I was going to get my head around this episode last week and edit it and do all this stuff, maybe that needed to be there. And I'm glad that I recorded it because that helped me with some other areas of my life and some other things I was doing. But it's such a good feeling to realize that, I really think that life is more about knowing what to take out. And it's okay to put in too much, quote unquote. It's okay to fill ourselves up with a whole bunch of things because then we have choices. And that means you've kind of come far in your life if you have choices, I think. And so in thinking about Groundhog Day, I was like, yeah, I made this realization that really it isn't about having the perfect week and figuring out how to shove everything that I want into it. It's about knowing how to make the decisions that cut away the things that don't really serve me and that would just serve my ego. Like, oh, look at me, I did all this stuff. Who cares? Who cares? If you're not happy and if you don't feel fulfilled and you're not really pushing the needle forward in your life or in the lives of the world around you, who cares? Why are you trying to be Superman or Superwoman? At the end of the day, nobody cares about that kind of stuff because they don't even know what was on your list in the first place. They're just like, people just know how you make them feel, right? They just know like that. They don't know that you actually didn't do 5 things on your list or 100. They don't know. So if you bring it to them, then they'll know, but people don't know. So I just want to encourage you to embrace the idea of letting things go and taking things away from your list. And it doesn't mean you're never going to do them. It just means you're not going to do them right now or in this month or maybe even in this year. Stop trying to figure out how you can make everything work. Stop trying to figure out how every single thing is supposed to be stuffed in the same area. Just let some things drop out, and it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you're really good at editing your day, and you're good at editing your week and editing your consciousness, and sometimes we have to drop off things that mean something to us. Like this episode that I recorded, it's a great episode. I like it. And I'm still going to put it out there. I'm just not going to put it out there right now. And I wasn't going to put it out last week for the last week of January. But that doesn't mean it's not a good point. It just means for me to finish editing it and to wrap my brain around it, I need more time. And did I use my time in a way that fed my soul? Even if I just ended up sleeping? Yes, I did. I didn't end up sleeping. I wish I did because I'm tired. But I go through bouts of insomnia, but I feel like it's usually, for me, it kind of feels like I'm downloading stuff from my spirit guides or the universe. It feels like I'm downloading a file, and that's why I can't fully sleep. But that's for another episode, isn't it? So I just want to encourage you today to remember that even if everything looks the same, it's not the same because your perspective on it can be different. So even though I felt like, here we go again, I've got this episode and I'm not able to finish editing it, and now I'm going to not upload it to the podcast, when Bill Murray wakes up in, Groundhog Day and he's like, I got you, babe, on the clock radio. Just put your little hand in mine. He slams his hand on the thing, and every day is the same. But it's not the same because we go along with him and we see how he changes because of it. And in some ways he becomes really shallow. In other ways he becomes deeper. And it's all just about him changing. For me, I'm embracing in 2020 how to be a better editor. I really want to learn how to be a better editor. I want to edit my day. I want to edit my consciousness. I want to edit things on my list even. and craft something that feels good for me. And I'm not talking about denial. I'm not talking about not acknowledging something important to you, or not acknowledging someone's feelings or not acknowledging something serious going on in your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being able to let things go or set them aside and know that there's an art form to that. To do it in a way that makes sense as you roll out your business or your art, like that is part of your craft. When you're in business for yourself, no one's watching. No one knows how much you've done. You guys probably would never found out that I had recorded an episode last week and that I didn't upload it. I have something to tell you. Last year, the last episode I had, Know Your Why, before I took a break, you know what I recorded after that? Failure. That was the topic title. And I actually recorded it. It's a show about failure and about how failure can be good and how we should embrace it. And you know what? So true to the message. I never uploaded it because I never finished editing it. And then I went through all the other stuff of doing the film festival and just a whole bunch of other things. And I wasn't able to come back to the podcast until December. So it happens. And guess what? No one knows. You're the only one that knows. Well, now everybody listening to this podcast knows, but that's because I really want to help you not be so hard on yourself. And just know that the totality of your business, the totality of your art and what you have to present, whatever it is, it's up to you making decisions. And so because that's one of the best things about not working for someone, not having a boss. You don't have anyone measuring things. You're the boss. And that's such a great feeling. This is your thing. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't bring with you all the horrible bosses you had all your life into your own, business. Because that's the great thing. You're finally on your own. You're doing your own thing. Don't bring that with it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're still working for somebody, if you're doing something on the side that's your thing, you're the boss of that. And you can be whatever kind of boss you want to be. You can be the kind of boss that embraces editing instead of embracing trying to be perfect or trying to fit everything in. So the goal is not to fit every single thing in. That's not the goal. And that's not the goal when you're editing. It's not even, think about a person who makes sculptures, okay? A person who makes sculptures. Think about them. Are they trying to figure out how to make a sculpture using every single part of the clay? Maybe. Like if they're making a bowl, maybe, or something. But usually they're cutting things away. And sometimes they cut it away and then they hold it in their hand and they smash it in somewhere else. Like cutting something away for eyes or nose, but then they keep it and they put it back where maybe the hair would be, And so that's part of the process of creating something. And I just think it's important to embrace that. It's not about being perfect. It's not about using all the pieces. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about doing every single thing. It's about keeping things going. Because the more I can do the Death Talk podcast, the more that I can do my film festival, the more that I can film new projects, the better it's going to be for me in this podcast because I'm bringing something to the table. I'm bringing my inspiration. I'm bringing real life situations into the podcast, which you're going to want that more than me uploading every single week. That's more important at the end of the day, that there's some meaning and some real stuff and inspiration coming from real life. If you're just coming back new to the whole business world, or you're starting to do your own business or your own art, and you're trying to figure out the lay of the land for your social media to try to do all that free marketing and networking for your business, smart, it's free. You don't even have to pay for a website. You don't have to have a website to do social media, and social media is free. So if you're starting to get into all that and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're getting kind of confused and you're like, well, why would I want a Twitter? Why would I want a Facebook? I'm just going to stick on Instagram. Or you know what? I don't even want any of that stuff. I just have my YouTube channel and that's all I want. That's cool. But I created a little guide that goes over what are the strengths of each one of those platforms: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and what some key moments are for each one and how you would want to post and all that kind of stuff. It's totally free. It's a download for your phone or your computer. It's just a 4-sheet document. And you can get it by going to ihavedreamsdammit.com, and you'll see there's a link in there for the free download. And I hope it helps you. You should totally be out there getting that free marketing. And I want to remind everybody, all the filmmakers out there listening to this, that the Ag and Art Film Festival is happening in Northern California, in Vacaville, California, which is in between like Sacramento and Napa, San Francisco, that kind of area. And it's my festival. I started it last year, just honoring agriculture. Local farms are so important. They're so important to every community, to have farmers that care about what kind of stuff they're putting on the food or in the soil and all of that good stuff. And then also art films about artists and the importance of art and artists, supporting art, just understanding the process. So many people don't understand the process that aren't artists. And so watching a film about an artist is another way to kind of help people, to educate them about what it means to be an artist and the fact that art is really important. We don't want a world without art. So if you or someone you know has a film, it can be a short film. I opened up a new category this year called micro shorts, because some people have like a couple minutes long film, which is great. Micro short, or feature. And then it can be a narrative or it can be a documentary. And it can be a student film or it can be a professional film. You can enter your film on Film Freeway, which is a place where filmmakers enter their film into festivals all over the world. And so if you go to filmfreeway.com/Ag and Art Film Festival, you'll see the Ag and Art Film Festival entry page. And then also there's a bunch of pictures on there from last year's festival. It was really fun. The filmmakers, we treated them to a bunch of different things, VIP situations, and we had a filmmaker farm breakfast out at a farm. It was really great. It was catered with just the VIP people and filmmakers. We had a big party the opening night of the festival, and filmmakers were able to meet with the artists, because we did an art show as well, local artists and all the pass holders, and we were able to do that up at a winery. There was alpaca on the red carpet. It was amazing. It was a really great festival, and I'm planning even more for next year. So I've got my little team of people that are amazing, and we are planning a lot more, actually, and I'm really excited. Not too much. I shouldn't say a lot more, because you know me, I like go crazy, and then I have to edit it back, you know. But anyways, you can enter your film. You can also go to agandartfilmfestival.com for all the information, and it's AGANDART filmfestival.com. Hey, all the writers out there, if you have a dream of being a writer, novel writer, screenwriter, short story writer, any kind of writer, blog writer, anything, you need to get with the Stop Writing Alone community. Stop Writing Alone is led by Nicole Rivera, and she is just a warm, wonderful person. She has writing prompts, she's got all kinds of exercises, and basically just a community. And sometimes we need that. I know I work alone a lot, and I prefer to work alone. I really like working alone. I should have a podcast called Work Alone. No, but the good thing is that when you do need resources and you do need community, to know where to go. And Stop Writing Alone podcast, Stop Writing Alone community is a place where you can go and you can get that. So check out stopwritingalone.com, and you can also find them on Facebook and on Instagram. Make sure you're editing your day, you're editing your projects, and you're editing the way you're rolling everything out. And that's where the beauty is. It's not just in you coming up with ideas and doing all that stuff. It's also in knowing what to take out of your schedule, knowing what to take off the table, even if it's just temporarily or even if it's permanently. That's okay. And yeah, that's it. That's my quick and easy thought for the day. And I'm going to go and try to edit this thing and maybe go to a Super Bowl party. I don't know. Edit, not this one, but edit the one from last week. But you'll see. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.